Hey YouTube, Evan Rooster here. Welcome to an Armored Core 5 review. Now, I don't typically review newer games at all. That's probably why you see the red dot in the middle of the screen. I recorded this with my camera. I don't have a collage or anything awesome like that, but for the sake of this review, let's continue. And, I wanted to treat my viewers with something special. And this game kind of flew under the radar. Not a lot of people, I think it just kind of has a hardcore cult following. Not a lot of people really cared about it on its release. There was some Tiger Woods and Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, and Ninja Gaiden 3 came out at the same time, so it got overlooked. So we're going to check it out. Right now, what you're seeing is the intro missions. Now, this is probably the first mission after the tutorial. And you see some controls that potentially look pretty smooth, and that's because they are. You can see all this interface on the screen looks really nice. You're seeing a route. Whenever you have trouble finding where you're supposed to go, which should probably be never in this game, you can actually hold down the trigger of the bumper and scan. You are able to figure out where to go. So some cool little touches here, or whenever you lock on, it shows you if you've successfully hit the enemy or not. And it also shows you, you can see a little flash of it right there. It shows you what kind of enemy you're also hitting. So that's really cool. Really nice, because this game is really supposed to be played online. You can join up to teams, guilds that other players have created. Right now you can see some of the customization as well. Now I'm kind of fidgeting with the color palettes. You can choose your own colors from the ground up, but for the sake of simplicity I just chose a palette and went on with it. And I was just kind of fooling around with the customization. It is extremely overwhelming at first. Okay, there's all kinds of words that you won't understand, like what the hell does this mean? There's a lot of strange terminology because, Armored Core is a universe of its own. It's 4 or 5 games in now. This is the 5th installment. So 4 before this, and probably a couple of subtitles. Right here, actually, I had purchased a couple of guns for each of your hands, and I was struggling to figure out how to equip them. So the interface perhaps is a little too overwhelming, and I wish it were a little easier for noobs such as myself to start and figure out how to equip these damn things. Basically, you'll have 24 categories, one for each weapon, and I believe one for each piece of your body. And there are also several subcategories for each of those. So you have thousands of possibilities on to how to build your mech. And then you are launched into this world map, and this is pretty self-explanatory. You just pick a story branch, and then it's going to have several spots of the story that you tackle. One of them is going to be a main story, a main part of your mission that progresses through the story, and the others will be side missions that you along or hire mercenary, which would probably just be, I'm sure, just AI that will follow you around. Which I didn't check out. I just played by myself for the time being. And here we go. So this is the second mission in. You can see that I scanned automatically to figure out the route here. And you can jump and boost and all that fun stuff. Now, the way your mech moves solely depends on what kind of legs that you pick. My mech was a bipedal, so I moved around fairly quickly, and I could jump and boost. So there are different, like you can do the reverse joint mech, those really cool Metal Gear looking ones that jump a little bit higher and whatnot. But the one thing I want to point out here is the controls are really smooth, and on top of that, the most trouble I have with modern day mech games is that you just feel like a small person running around. You don't really feel like a robot, and this game really fixes that. You feel like you are a, several ton robot blowing shit up. And it's a really nice feeling. It has a really nice weight to it. The one thing I will say is in the 3 or 4 levels that I completed, there are really repetitive enemies. There's repetitive enemy design. You can see that through the review, I actually played for 2 hours, and I just gathered footage from that 2 hours. I only really fought tanks and airplanes, these flamingos and these tanks. I fought these, well, you'll see up ahead, some yeah, I mean, it has some pretty good graphics. They're not the best. They're decent. It's a drab color palette. It's very depressing. It really gives off the feeling that you're in a war. And, all hope is lost, that kind of thing. So they really convey that really well. There's one of the other, what is it, a Scion or a Swan? I really can't tell what the hell that is, but we're going to blow it up. The explosion in this game, goodness, I can't talk. are really nice, the environmental explosions and whatnot. I really do wish that it had some maybe Mercenaries 2 effects to where the smoke lingers afterwards, because as you can see, once you blow something up, it's just kind of gone. And also, the missions are really, really easy. We're talking about, this is the 4th mission in, guys, 3rd or 4th in, and there you go. You just watch the entire thing. So after you complete the mission, you'll get these, I'm in a team, so you get the team, and everything kind of goes together as a team, so that's really cool. You get money for your team, your guild bank. If you've played an MMO before, that's going to be really familiar to you. So while your team is out, eating sandwiches, you can be making money for them and buying parts and bringing them into the garage. Really, really cool. So right here, we're fighting more tanks and whatnot. It's just kind of the same stuff over and over and over. And I have a feeling that had I played multiplayer, you'd probably get a lot more from the game. That's kind of the overall impression that I get. Armored Core 5. Great game, multiplayer, but probably not the best on single player. On single player, I probably have to give it a 7 out of 10. From the multiplayer match that I played, I unfortunately didn't record. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. And I just knocked off the points just because the game can be overwhelming. I'm sure once you're used to it, it's not a problem. Great game and all. Thanks, guys.